Who said the Pac-12 was dead? Who said the old version of the Pac-12 was dead? Oregon and Arizona in the round of 32. God, this is going to be fun. Dion, both of them coming off of huge blowout victories. Got Akron out the paint. Got Liberty out the paint. You got two Pac-12 teams facing off in Seattle. It's fitting. It's fitting.
You know what I think's hilarious? So the Pac-12, if I'm doing my math correctly here, would either have the third or fourth most second round teams in the country if it still existed. The Big Ten and SEC have it beat for sure. I think the Big 12 does too. Not a math guy though. The Big 12 and the Pac 12 would be really close enough to where like I don't have time to figure out which one has more. Point being, there's three Pac 12 teams in the Sweet 16. Bring it back. Pac 12 after dark was special. This is gonna be a fun game. I'm really excited for it. Arizona, I'm gonna need you to do one for me though. I went on the preview of Oregon Liberty, talked out the side of my neck. That's the only way to describe it.
Well,
Uh,
let's start there. We'll start with Arizona because they looked awesome. No other way to put it against Akron. But Oregon is a much different test.
yeah.
So what are the biggest keys for
Well,
Arizona to win?
Arizona's gonna have to remember how to face a team that has someone over 6'7". So that's the first thing they're gonna have to remind themselves how to do. If they, it's gonna be a much
Akron
different.
Akron is small, man.
It's tough, man. I'm a short guy, so it's tough for me to have to do some of this stuff. But it's true. Akron is incredibly small. They didn't stand a chance, if we're being honest, against Arizona, respectfully to Akron. Oregon presents a completely different challenge. They present a challenge that is even different than a lot that happened that Arizona faced in the Big 12, right? Jackson Shelstad would probably be the best guard in the Big 12
Um,
prior.
there's gonna be somebody that we're just totally blanking on.
Crier or Uzon's the only
I
ones I.
think I think you could make a case. I
Yeah,
think you could make a case.
yeah. It's a completely different challenge than anything they faced. But Arizona is like freakishly athletic, like freakishly athletic.
Yeah.
It's bizarre to me that they're a 4 seed, and every time the ball tips off, it's like how do they lose games? And then you have a 5 minute stretch where Caleb Love forgets where the hoop is. And you're like, well, that's exactly how they lose games.
There's the Caleb Love factor. There is also just defensive inconsistencies that they've shown throughout the year. Like this is the same team that before the Big 12 tournament had lost five of their last eight regular season games. They had lost at Kansas State. They lost at Kansas. Like it was not a team that was clicking on all cylinders. And that to me is partially why that first round performance against Akron was so important because you saw them clicking on all cylinders in that game. You saw Jaden Bradley make the most of what I think is still one of the more underrated skill sets in the country. You saw Caleb Love have a controlled Caleb Love game until he was trying to fight the refs at the end of the game. You saw Carter Bryant make high impact plays and be efficient. You saw Trey Townsend produce at a good rate and be efficient,
Which we ain't seen much of this year. So
which we have not seen much of this year. So I guess that's the question. Are we going to see it again against a team that can match their size? Maybe
I
not
gotta be
match the
honest,
athleticism, but can match the size.
I don't know. I don't know because if you watch the way Arizona played defense, they knew Akron was much smaller than them. As someone that's much smaller than most people, I know what that looks like. I can relate to what Akron felt like. It's a I'll be honest, Arizona kind of clowned Akron, and it was really disrespectful the way they played defense at times. You can't do that against Oregon,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have to know that. And but they can get up and down the court with the best of them. I don't think there's a better fast break offense in the country.
They're up there. Well, when you get Bradley and Kier Lewis, Carter Bryant, and Caleb Love, some combination of those four out in transition, any of them can pull up from three, any of them can dunk on your head,
Mhm.
which is scary. It's a scary proposition.
This game just got the ninth slot. Pac-12 After Dark's
Pac-12 after dark.
officially
Pac-12
back.
after dark. Got to do it.
Officially back.
Let's flip things to the Oregon side. What does Oregon have to do?
Shellstat got to be special. Shellstat's got to be special. And Nate Biddle, I think, has to dominate the paint
I think that is where Arizona can be the most vulnerable to me because Visar is a good solid big, but he's inconsistent. Right, you were expecting to have Krivas down there. You kind of had to throw Visar in, and he's been much better than anybody expected. But Arizona still kind of centers around having that advantage on the inside. We talk about their rebounding. We talk about their ability to finish at the rim. If Biddle can win that, then it's a guard matchup, right? I think Arizona has the better group of guards, at least the more higher upside guards than Oregon does. But Oregon has probably the best one in the game in Shellstad,
Oh yeah,
and Bamba can put up some numbers occasionally. Um, Bartholomew can put up some numbers occasionally as well. So it's like if Biddle
Lockley,
if
Taylor, and
Biddle
TJ Thompson,
if Biddle performs well and wins that battle, it lessens like the importance of those guys going off.
for sure. For sure. A lot of Wade Taylor and TJ Bamba. A lot of Wade Taylor. Then honestly, it might come down to that. Do you get Wade Taylor, TJ Bamba, like the peak Wade Taylor, TJ Bamba, or are you gonna get the Wade Taylor that 29% from the field? Like what version of TJ Bamba are you gonna get in this one? Because I think Arizona is so deep and talented to where it's like you can kind of like, okay, Carter Bryant stinks today. KJ Lewis go get us 20. KJ don't
Mm,
got it. Jaden, do you got it? You don't? Cool. Caleb Love's still on the roster. Like there's just so many different guys that they can turn to kind of go get them one. And Oregon has a lot of dudes too, but I don't know how many teams have more individuals that can go get a bucket than Arizona.
yeah. One key I want to talk about here is 3-point shooting, particularly Oregon's 3-point shooting. The one game they have lost this month was against Michigan State in the Big Ten tournament. They were 4 of 19 from three in that game. Biddle had a great game. Nobody else did. And they were still close in that game despite not shooting well and not getting production. If they had shot just about average for them, that game is a different game. Arizona is not good defending the 3-point line.
Mhm.
On the year, they are 154th in 3-point defense. They give up a good amount of threes as well. They let opponents take threes on 41.8% of their possessions, which is 284th, meaning that they let opponents shoot a lot of threes. That's going to be the spot for Oregon.
Was making Arizona shoot threes.
You like making your threes because Arizona's going to let you shoot them, and they're not great defensively at stopping them. So like take what they give you, make those threes, put the pressure on Arizona then to go on the other end and do it when they're not a great 3-point shooting team themselves. Guys who can, but they're
Yeah.
below 33% on the season. That's the key for Oregon for me.
I think
Get a
the
good get
problem
a get a good Nate Biddle game and make your threes.
I think the problem with that is like so like let's say you shoot a good percentage from three. Let's say you shoot like 37%, right?
Mm.
The other 73 is going to be layups because long rebounds make fast breaks so much tougher to guard. I think that's part of like the game because like could Arizona guard threes? I think Arizona could guard whatever they want with the type of athletes they have. But I think they kind of like choose not to because they're playing a game where it's like, cool, if you miss that three, we're gone. And like good luck catching up to us. But if you make 40+% of them though,
I also think Arizona's got some mental stuff
oh,
defensively where they're just not locked in all the time.
oh well, no, they're Caleb Love's on this roster. Like, let's get one thing very clear. There
Hey,
is
if
some
we're if we're if we're if we're Pac-12ing after dark, you will respect the Pac-12 Player of the Year.
Was he the final Pac-12 player of the
Yeah, he
year?
was.
Game recognized game. Game that goes in the history books. No one can take that away from you.
We'll get to predictions here. Who do you think wins and why? And we may fight.
I got Arizona. I don't want to fight you though. We're 2 weeks away from getting drinks at the Final Four. We can't fight yet.
Oh, I'm fighting you because I got Oregon.
Loser buys the first round?
Loser buys the second round. You're already going me around.
That's true. Yeah, from the other day. Loser buys the second round. Loser buys the second round.
We could do that. So how much? How much do you think Arizona wins by?
I think Arizona wins by it's close. 6 points. And like 6 points in the standpoint of they probably hit a couple free throws down the stretch type of thing.
If it's close, which I think it will be too, I think it'll be a couple possession, one way or the other decides it. Do you trust Caleb Love or do you trust Jackson Shellstat in those situations?
Jaden Bradley.
I'm taking Jackson Shellstat all day in those situations. I think he is. I think he's proven he's the most clutch player in the country. I fully expect him to hit a couple big shots and have some of those moments in this game. That's one thing that this tournament has not had is like those moments. You had Will Reid running around after which now that I think about it, yeah, Will Reid running around after that win for Big Nice, right? Their first it's kind of like Jimmy V running around a little bit for NC State. Will Reid's gonna be the NC State coach. Maybe because I'm sitting here at the Lenovo Center, there's some of those vibes going, but that just dawned on me a little bit. That dawned on me a little bit, but we have not had like moments in this tournament so far. We had that one. You had Drake's win, but there wasn't like a pivotal moment in that game. You had Colorado State's win. It wasn't a pivotal moment in that game. There's no like crazy highlight that people are talking about. Just had some a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
I think Shellstad gives us some moments.
Caleb Love could too, though. There's a
Good
lot of
moments,
guys in this game from both teams that I think
yeah,
because TJ Bamba could give some moments also.
right. Like it's going to be a lot of fun, and that's I think what's great about where we're at right now is the
Yeah,
games are going to be a lot of fun no matter what.
gonna be special. Gonna be special.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.